Hey, deep divers. Today we're jumping into a concept we hear all the time: growth. But maybe not the way you usually think about it. Not that linear, upward, perfectly measurable journey. We're exploring something, well, more organic, maybe even kind of messy. We're drawing from this really fascinating source today. It's excerpts from a piece called The Architecture of Soulful Growth. And our mission really is to try and uncover how true, soulful growth actually happens, especially when life feels anything but organized or clear. So I want you to start thinking about your own experiences. Like, have you ever felt you should be growing, but things just aren't clicking? Or maybe, those unexpected leaps forward that happen right in the middle of total confusion. Okay, yeah, let's unpack this.
It's such a refreshing way to look at it, isn't it? What hits you right away is how it's subtly, but really powerfully challenges these deep-seated ideas we have about progress. Our whole society seems geared towards it. We chase that streamlined achievement, a clear plan. But this piece, The Architecture of Soulful Growth, it hints at something deeper, more resilient. It feels less about ticking boxes on a perfect strategy and more about the raw act of becoming, especially when things are tough.
Absolutely. And it doesn't waste time. It throws us right in with this really powerful opening line: growth doesn't wear a wristwatch.
No.
I mean, that's not just poetic phrasing, is it? It feels like a radical rethink of all that pressure we feel from timelines, deadlines, often ones we put on ourselves. It's saying, maybe trust the internal rhythm instead of trying to force things. What do you think is the biggest relief that comes with, ditching that clock?
Oh, the biggest relief for me is just the profound liberation from that pressure, that constant visible pressure to be making progress. We live in a culture that basically equates speed with success, right? So this idea, growth doesn't wear a wristwatch, it just lets you off the hook. It frees you from needing to constantly see or measure how you're changing. It acknowledges that, real internal shifts often don't follow any schedule, any calendar. How many times have you felt, behind because you missed some self-imposed deadline? This view just says, breathe out. Understand the deep stuff often happens in its own time. Sometimes you can't even see it, like a seed underground. Your internal clock is the only one that matters, really.
Right. Okay. And if that wasn't enough to shake things up, the source hits us with these incredibly evocative lines. It visits in chaos, cloaked in clutter, whispering, "Try again."
Wow. That just feels so counterintuitive, doesn't it? We usually think growth happens when things are calm, clear, organized. So what does it mean for growth to visit in chaos, in clutter? Yeah, it totally flips the script. We try so hard to tidy everything up, don't we? Our lives, our minds, our desks, before we start trying to grow. But this suggests the complete opposite. Growth actually shows up right in the middle of the storm. It's wrapped in the very things we normally push away, the messy bits, the uncertainty, the disorganization in our lives. So the chaos and clutter, they aren't blocking growth. They might actually be the fertile ground where real transformation starts.
So the try again part isn't like a sign you failed, but maybe more like an invitation right there in the chaos.
Precisely. Exactly. It's like a gentle nudge, an encouraging hand when you feel totally lost or beaten down. It reframes those missteps. You know? They aren't dead ends. They're integral, maybe even essential parts of the whole process.
Yeah.
It's not about quitting when you hit a wall. It's about acknowledging the struggle, finding that quiet resilience, and just engaging one more time. And this is where it really gets to the heart of it, I think. And when the road is hazy, when nothing is aligned, that's where soul begins its architecture.
Oh, that line is, it's powerful. It suggests the lack of clarity, things not lining up, that hazy road where you can't see ahead. That's not the problem. That's actually the catalyst for building your inner structure.
Exactly right. We want everything clear, everything just right before we feel we can grow. But this insight says no. It's in those uncertain moments, those messy periods, that we're really forced to look inward. That's where we build resilience, deepen our self-understanding, forge our core identity. Just think about times in your own life, maybe, where the big shifts happen not when things were easy, but during struggle, uncertainty. Maybe a job setback forced you to rethink what you really wanted, or a tough relationship taught you about your own boundaries. Those weren't just moments to get through. They were like the crucible where the architecture of your soul was actually being built, strengthened. It's when the external framework feels shaky or isn't even there that we find out just how strong our internal scaffolding can be.
That's a profound thought. Makes you wonder what inner architecture you might be building right now without even realizing it. And that leads perfectly into another statement that feels, unsettling at first, but maybe ultimately freeing. There is no formula, no tidy map. But gosh, if you're someone who likes structure, that sounds kind of terrifying, doesn't it? We love those 7 steps, the clear guides.
Oh, it absolutely can feel terrifying.
Yeah.
We seem wired to look for instructions for clear paths. So acknowledging there's no tidy map, no universal formula, it kind of strips away that illusion of control we cling to. But, this raises a really important question. If there's no map, no external guide telling you exactly what to do, what do you rely on? And the source gives this beautiful kind of raw answer. Just your breath, your bruises.
Your breath, your bruises. Wow. I love how simple and direct that is.
Yeah, they're not complicated theories, are they? They're just the undeniable, visceral facts of your own existence. Yeah, your breath, that steady rhythm in and out that grounds you is like a fundamental anchor in any storm. It's a constant reminder of being alive, the presence of just being. And your bruises, well, they're metaphors, obviously, for the emotional hits, the psychological knocks, the spiritual scrapes we all collect. They are the lessons learned the hard way through struggle and setbacks. And they're unique to each of us, right? They carry this deep wisdom. So the source is saying, look, these internal personal things, your simple presence, your breath, and the wisdom etched into you by what you've been through, your bruises, those are your real guides, your most reliable ones. They are your map, in a way, created just by your journey.
That's such a powerful reframe, isn't it? Instead of always looking outside for the answers, it points us right back inside to the most fundamental bits of ourselves. Like, trust your own lived experience, even the painful parts. They're your true compass. So for you, listening right now, what internal resources do you lean on when the external guides aren't there or aren't working? Is it intuition, your core values? Maybe just sheer stubbornness sometimes. It's definitely something worth sitting with. And finally, the source brings it all together with this incredibly hopeful, grounding idea and the belief that crooked steps still lead home. What a beautiful way to end that thought. We're so often told growth should be straight, efficient, direct, but crooked steps, yeah, that just perfectly nails the reality, doesn't it? The missteps, the detours, the not so perfect moves we all make.
It really does. And home here, I don't think it necessarily means a physical place or even hitting some specific goal. It feels more like a state of being, authenticity. Coming to accept yourself more deeply, connecting more truly with who you are. And the crucial part is the belief, that trusting that even with all the zigzags, the stumbles, the choices that felt wrong at the time, you're still somehow moving towards that place of wholeness, of truth within yourself. Embracing those crooked steps is really an act of self-compassion, isn't it? Recognizing that imperfection isn't just okay, it's inherent, it's a valuable part of the whole journey. The beauty of your own inner architecture doesn't come despite the crookedness. Maybe it comes because of it.
So, what does this all mean for us deep divers? I think it means your journey is just that, yours. It's not on a clock. It can't be tamed by some formula. Every chaotic moment, every little whisper to try again, every raw bruise, and every single one of those crooked steps, they aren't deviations. They're essential, irreplaceable parts of this unique, amazing architecture you're building inside yourself all the time. It's really a call to just observe your own unfolding with maybe a gentler, more accepting eye. So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's just quickly recap these really profound ideas from the architecture of soulful growth. We've heard that growth doesn't follow a clock, it has its own pace. It actually thrives in mess and chaos, often showing up when things feel most disorganized. There's no pre-written map, no tidy formula for your unique path. And maybe most liberating, even the most imperfect, crooked steps are totally valid. They're essential parts of your journey home to yourself. This wasn't about adding another thing to your to-do list, obviously. It was about trying to reframe how you think about your own progress, your own becoming.
And what a powerful reframe it is, really. In a world that wants efficiency, clear paths, results you can show off, embracing the crooked and the hazy, that feels radical. Yet, as this source so beautifully reminds us, that might be the most direct route to real self-discovery. To building that resilient inner architecture. It's an invitation, isn't it? To trust the process, to lean into the discomfort sometimes, and to find the deep wisdom in your own experience. Just a more compassionate and authentic way to grow.
Definitely. So as you go about your day, here's a final thought I want to leave you with, something to ponder. If, like the source says, soul begins its architecture when nothing is aligned, what hidden growth might you be cultivating right now? Right in the middle of whatever challenges or uncertainties you're facing, growth you haven't even recognized as growth yet. Maybe that frustrating setback or that confusing time or that detour you didn't plan. Maybe it isn't just something to get through. Maybe it's a vital foundational stage in building the truest version of you. Just try observing your own journey with fresh eyes. We'll catch you next time for another deep dive.